In the last session, we explored the idea of thinking as an addiction. And in this session, I want to come back to that, but I want to look at it from a practical point of view. If we accept or we even consider that perhaps it is an addiction, how does that help us and what do we do about it? So the first thing that we do is that we draw on human wisdom when it comes to breaking addictions, which humans have been doing for centuries and which many, many people do successfully. Now, how we try to break our thinking addiction ordinarily is we just try to make some sort of conscious choice, like, all right, I'm just going to stop getting caught up in these thoughts, and then we just carry on with our life as normal. And then when the thoughts come, we get lost in them, we beat ourselves up, we get frustrated, we give up, or we just try again over and over. But what successful people do when it comes to giving up addictions is they change their life outside of the addiction, outside of the addictive behaviour. So if someone's addicted to alcohol and every day they get up, they go and buy a bottle of something and then come home and drink it and then go to sleep or do whatever they do, then they're not going to break that addiction by just, getting up and following the same pattern but doing something a little bit different. They break that addiction by changing their life outside of the pattern of behaviour. So if someone ordinarily drinks when they associate with certain people, then they'll stop associating with those people. If they ordinarily drink at a particular event or a particular place, they might stop going to that place. Or if they drink because they're bored or they're lonely or because that's their social interaction, then they'll build new social interactions, they'll build new friendships, they'll join community groups, they'll go and do something different with their life outside of the addiction. So it's about shifting their energy into other channels. Now, where we started this course was looking at attention as being a resource that we can invest over here or that we can invest over there. And the nature of this addiction is that we put almost all of our resource, almost all of our attention into thinking. And so the role of meditation practice is to give us another channel in which to invest that attention. So all the practices that we've done so far of just sitting, feeling the breath, feeling the body, watching thoughts, feeling the emotions, all of those practices give us other channels into which we can pour our attention. Attention wants to go somewhere, it wants to look, to notice, to see. And that's why we get so engaged and so involved with thought. So what our practice does, if we do it regularly, is it gives us a regular space, even 20 or 30 minutes a day, in which we can do something different with our attention. And you would be surprised how much difference it can make even to sit and do that for 20 minutes a day out of the 16 or so hours we're awake, just that little bit can make a massive difference to the way we invest our attention the rest of the time. So that small change can make a big difference. So people who've overcome addictions know, and there's plenty of good literature on this, that it's much easier to replace a behaviour with a different behaviour than to just try and stop doing something. If you say, well, just stop drinking too much every night, it's much easier to go and join a sports club or go and take up 10-pin bowling or find something else to do with that energy and that time than to just say, oh, well, I'll stay home as I was doing, but I just won't drink. And it's the same with our addiction to thinking. It is much easier to deliberately learn to put our attention somewhere else than it is to just say, oh, well, I'll just stop. So just for a moment now, shift your attention, feel the breath. Feel the body. Listen closely to all that you hear. And notice how thinking starts to lose its power, thought starts to lose its power when you withdraw that attention from it. There are two things happening when we do this. First of all, when we stop pouring attention into thinking, it loses some of its power, some of its pull. And second of all, we develop the ability to relate to thought in a different way, to relate to it through, or to watch it rather than getting lost in it. And as that ability strengthens and becomes more normal, then the power of thought decreases further. And so this becomes, a positive spiral where each strengthening of our ability to direct our attention deliberately further reduces the power of thought, which then makes it easier to pay deliberate attention to what we want to. And so this is how we break the back of this addiction, is by developing a new way of living. And that way of living is through awareness of what's happening now, of our present moment experience, rather than awareness of what's going on in my head and being completely lost in that. So today, as you walk through this world, take some time right now, if you've got it, to sit, to shift your attention, to move it somewhere else. Spend 15 or 20 minutes sitting, breathing, feeling, listening. And make that a regular practice this week. And just see what difference it makes to the power of thought, the power it has over you, and what difference it makes in your ability to concentrate and deliberately direct your attention. take a minute now to do the written reflection and take this practice out into your day today and see what difference it makes.